Ifoma's world was about to shatter, and she didn't even know it. She stood at the balcony of her big apartment, looking down at the busy city of Lagos. She was smiling because in just 3 days, she would marry Kenichi, the man of her dreams. He was handsome, kind, and he always said he loved her for who she was, not for her money. Ifeoma was one of the richest women in Nigeria. She was the boss of a huge tech company called NextGen. She had built the company herself for nothing. She had everything she could ever want: a beautiful home, nice cars, and expensive clothes. But for a long time, she had felt alone. Then she met Kenichi, and he filled that empty space in her heart. She remembered the day they met. It was a big business party. He walked up to her and started a conversation. He didn't act too impressed by her fame or her money. He talked to her like a normal person. He asked her about work and really listened to her answers. He was different from all other men she met. They started dating and everything felt perfect. Kenichi was always thoughtful. He remembered her favorite food, favorite songs, and everything she loved. He got along well with her friends and her family. After a few months, he took her to a beautiful beach house at sunset and proposed. "Ifeoma," he said, holding her hand, "my life was empty before I met you. You make me complete, and you make me me. Please, will you marry me?" Tears of joy filled Ifeoma's eyes. "Yes," she said without any doubt. Her two best friends, Adaora and Zainab, were very happy for her. "He's perfect for you," Zainab said. But her older brother, Chijoke, was not so sure. He loved his sister very much and was always protective of her. He pulled her aside one day and said, "Sister, I am happy you are happy," Chijoke said. "But this marriage is happening very fast. I have tried to find out more about this man, about his family, but it's not easy. Something does not feel right. Please be careful." Ifeoma just laughed. "Brother, you worry too much. Kenichi is a good man. He loves me. Why can't you be happy for me?" She was so in love that she ignored her brother's warning. She also ignored the small signs that something was wrong. Sometimes, Kenichi would get a phone call and walk away to talk privately. When she asked who it was, he would say it's just work. He never let her use his phone, and one time she saw a text message on his laptop from someone named Neka. The message asked for money for school fees. When Ifeoma asked him about it, Kenichi smiled and said Neka was his cousin from the village, who he helped sometimes, and Ifeoma believed him. She had no idea that far away in the city of Port Harcourt, a woman named Neka was putting two children to bed, and the children were asking when their daddy was going to come home. "Soon," Neka would tell them, trying to sound happy. "Daddy is working very hard in Lagos to get a lot of money for us. He will be home soon." The man Neka called her husband was the same man Ifeoma called her fiancé. Kenichi was living a double life. He had a wife and two children that Ifeoma knew nothing about. He did not love Ifeoma. He was only pretending to love her so he could use her money to take care of his real family. He was a liar, and Ifeoma was about to marry him. The wedding preparations were in full swing. Ifeoma's home was filled with laughter, fabric samples, and sweet smell of cake tasting. She felt like she was floating on a cloud of happiness. Kenichi was by her side for the most of it, of course, always smiling, supportive, and he seemed excited just as she was. One afternoon, they were looking at the invitations with her friends, Adaora and Zainab. "This is the most beautiful wedding I have ever seen," Zainab exclaimed, holding up a gold embossed card. "It is because the bride is so beautiful," Kenichi said, smiling at Ifeoma. He squeezed her hand. I am the luckiest man in the world. Later, when they were alone, Kenichi brought up a serious topic. My love, he began, his face looking a little worried. You know, I have been trying to grow my own business. I have a very big opportunity, a contract that could change everything for us. Ifoma listened intently. That is wonderful, Kenichi. It is, he said. But to get this contract, I need to show them that I have strong financial backing. It is just for show, you understand, to make them trust me. Could you add my name to your main bank account? Just until this contract is signed. Then I will take my name off. Ifoma felt a small twist in her stomach. It was a big request. Her money was something she had always managed alone. But this time, this was the man she was going to marry. They were going to be a team, and he had never asked her for anything before. Of course, she said, pushing her doubt away. We are partners, and I trust you. The next day, she went to the bank and added Kenichi's name to the account where she kept a large amount of her wealth. Meanwhile, her brother Chijioke was not resting. His worry for his sister had grown into solid fear. He hired a private investigator to look into Kenichi's past. The investigator had called with some early information. The man is very careful, the investigator said, but I found something. He travels to Port Harcourt every month. He visits a house in a quiet neighborhood. A woman and 2 children live there. Chijioke had sank. He went to see Ifoma that evening and he found her in her living room looking at the wedding photos. Sister, we need to talk, Chijioke said, his voice heavy. Brother, not this again, Ifoma sighed. I am happy. Can't you not see that? I see a man who is hiding something, Chijioke said, his voice rising. He goes to Port Harcourt every month. There is a woman there. There are children. Ifoma stood up, her face hardening. Stop it. I know about that. That is his cousin, Nneka. He helps her with her children. He told me about it. You are just trying to ruin my happiness because you cannot stand to see me with a man. He told you that? Chijioke asked, shocked. And you believed him? Ifoma, open your eyes. Get out, Ifoma shouted, pointing to the door. I will not listen to this anymore. Chijioke left, his heart breaking. He knew his sister was making a terrible mistake, but she was too blind with love to see it. At that very moment, Kenichi was on the phone in his car, parked far from Ifoma's house. Yes, Nneka, the money will come soon, he said softly. I have just fixed everything. As soon as it is in the account, I will send it to you. I know the children's school fees are overdue. Just be patient a little longer. This is almost over. He ended the call and looked at the wedding ring he was going to give Ifoma. He felt no guilt in his mind. He was just doing what he had to do to take care of his real family. His plan was working perfectly. The wedding was a dream come true for everyone watching it. It was the perfect union of 2 beautiful, successful people. Ifoma floated through the day in a haze of joy, her hand always in Kenichi's. They danced, laughed, and cut the towering cake. To all their guests, they were all picture of true love. After a magical honeymoon in Dubai, they returned to Lagos and settled into Ifoma's penthouse. Life, it seemed, was perfect, but slowly and carefully, Kenichi began to weave his web. It started small, a few weeks after the wedding. He came home from a supposed meeting looking stressed. What is wrong, my love? Ifoma asked, concerned. It is this new contract, Kenichi said with a sigh, rubbing his temples. The clients are demanding. They want to see more stability, more assets from my company before they sign. It's so frustrating. I am so close. Ifoma, wanting to help her new husband, immediately offered, "Can I help? I can invest in your company or be a guarantor." Kenichi kissed her forehead. "You are too kind, but no, I need to do this on my own. I cannot use my wife's money. It would look bad." His refusal made her trust him even more. A week later, he came to her with a different problem. "Ifoma, my younger sister in the village, she has been admitted to the hospital. The bill is very high. My family does not have the money. I have already sent what I can, but it is not enough." He looked genuinely upset. Without a second thought, Ifoma transferred a large sum of money to him. "This is for your sister, family, and everything." Kenichi hugged her tightly, hiding his face over her shoulder. "Thank you, my wife. You are an angel." The truth was, there was no sick sister. The money was sent directly to Ineka in Port Harcourt to finally pay the children's long overdue school fees and clear the 6 months' worth of rent. A month later, his request became bigger. He needed a new car to impress his big project. Ifoma, wanting him to succeed, went with him to the car dealership and helped him choose a luxurious SUV. She paid it from her account. Kenichi drove it proudly, telling her it was all for their future. Meanwhile, Chijoke was watching from a distance, his heart growing heavier. He saw the new car. He heard from his friend in the bank about the large amount Ifoma had made. He confronted his sister one afternoon when Kenichi was out. "Ifoma, since this man has entered your life, money has been flowing out of your account like water." Chijoke said, trying to keep his voice calm. "First it was account access, then a hospital bill, now a car. What is next? A house?" "Brother, stop it," Ifoma replied, getting angry. "He is my husband. We are a team. He's building his business for us. Should I not support my own husband? Do you want him to fail? I want to know why a man who claims to be so successful cannot pay his own sister's hospital bill or buy his own car," Chijoke argued. "He is proud. He did not want to take the money in the first place. I had to insist," Ifoma shouted. "You have never liked him. You are just looking for reasons to be against him." The argument ended badly, with Ifoma asking Chijoke to leave and come back until she is able to respect her husband. Feeling isolated from her husband, Ifoma leaned more on Kenichi, and he used this as his advantage. He started talking about a huge, once-in-a-lifetime business opportunity. "It is a business contract," he explained, his eyes wide with excitement. "It will make us richer than you can even imagine. But I need to show them I have the capital. If I can just transfer a large amount into my company's account to show them, we will get the deal. I will transfer it right back to you as soon as they verify it." This was his biggest request yet. He was asking for access to a huge part of her wealth. Ifoma felt a cold knot of doubt in her stomach. Her brother's warning echoed in her mind. She looked at Kenichi's hopeful and handsome face. She thought about their future together. "Let me think about it, Kenichi," she said softly. "It's a lot of money." For the first time, a flicker of impatience crossed Kenichi's face, but it was gone in a second. "Of course, my love. Think about it. Think about our future." That night, Ifoma could not sleep. She was torn between her love for her husband and the small growing voice of doubt in her head. Down the hall, Kenichi was on his phone in the bathroom whispering to Ineka. "Just a little more time. She's almost ready to give me everything. Then all our problems will be over, I promise." He had no idea that Chijoke was not giving up. Sitting in his car outside the building, Chijoke was on the phone with his private investigator, a new plan forming in his mind. The investigator had a name, Neka, and he had an address in Port Harcourt. Chijoke knew he had to get proof or would lose his sister forever. The race to uncover the truth was on, and Ifoma's happiness was the prize. The silence between Ifoma and Chijoke felt heavy and loud. Days turned into weeks without them speaking. His warning echoed in her mind, especially when she looked at Kenichi's proposal for government contracts. It required nearly half of her savings. Yet every time doubt crept in, Kenichi would be extra sweet. He would bring her breakfast in bed, buy her small thoughtful gift, and talk endlessly about their future children and the life they would build. It felt so real. One evening he took her hand. Ifoma, I know the amount I ask for is big, he said, his eyes full of love. But this contract will secure our future. Our children will never have to struggle like we did. I want to build an empire with you, not just live off yours. His words touched her. This was what she wanted. A partner. She decided to trust her husband. She called her lawyer to start the process of the transferring of the funds. Meanwhile, Chijoke was not sitting still. He could not let his sister make what he saw as a terrible mistake. He decided to take matters into his own hands. He got into his car and began the long drive to Port Harcourt. He had only the address from his investigator. He needed to see with his own eyes. After a few hours on the road, he found the house. It was simple, clean bungalow in a neat and quiet neighborhood. He parked his car a short distance away and watched. He did not have to wait too long. A woman who he knew from the photo was Ineka came out to hang clothes. A few minutes later, a little boy and girl ran out to play in the small compound. They were laughing and chasing each other. Then Chijoke had stopped. A black SUV, the same one Ifoma had bought for Kenichi, turned onto the street and parked in front of the house. Kenichi got out. He was not in Lagos for a business meeting like he had told Ifoma. Chijoke watched, his hands gripping the steering wheel tightly. The children screamed, "Daddy!" and ran to Kenichi. He lifted the girl into his arms and hugged the boy. He then walked over to Ineka and gave her a bundle of cash. She smiled, a tired but genuine smile, and they walked into the house together, looking like a perfect, happy family. Chijoke felt a mix of rage and victory. He had the proof. He took out his phone and recorded a short video of Kenichi playing with his children in the compound. It was all there. The lie was exposed. He drove back to Lagos immediately, his mind racing. He could not just show the video to Ifoma. She was too deep in Kenichi's lies. She might not believe it, or she might blame Chijoke for spying. He needed a bigger, undeniable moment. He decided to wait. He knew Chijoke was pushing for the big money transfer. Chijoke thought to let the man get overconfident. He would let him think he had won. The perfect time to reveal the truth would be when Kenichi was his most confident, right when he thought his plan has finally worked. Back in Lagos, Ifoma told Kenichi she was ready to give him the money. His face lit up with a triumph he could barely hide. "This is it, my love," he said, hugging her tightly. "Our future starts now." He immediately went to his phone and sent a message to Ineka. "Prepare the children. Our long struggle is almost over. We will be together soon." Ifoma was happy, believing she was building a dream with her husband, Kenichi. He was also happy, believing his secret family would finally live a life of luxury, and Chijoke was waiting, holding the evidence that would shatter both of their worlds. The stage was set for collapse, and it was going to be devastating. The day of the big money transfer arrived. Kenichi could barely contain his excitement. He put on his best suit, looking every bit the successful businessman. He kissed Ifeoma goodbye that morning, his smile wider than she had ever seen it. "Today is the day our new life begins," he told her, his voice full of emotion. "I will make you so proud, my wife." Ifeoma smiled back, her heart full of love and hope. "I know you will. I will see you at the lawyer's office this afternoon, my love." As soon as Kenichi left, Ifeoma's phone rang. It was Chijoke. "Sister, we need to talk," he said, his voice urgent but calm. "Please, meet me at the office 1 hour before your meeting with Kenichi. It is very important." Ifeoma almost refused. She was tired of her brother's suspicions, but something in his tone made her pause. It wasn't angry or accusing. It was serious and almost sad. "Okay, brother," she agreed. "I would come." Meanwhile, Kenichi was making his own preparations. He went to the small private internet cafe he used instead of his office. There, he made a final video call to Ineka and his children. "Are you all packed?" he asked, his voice low. "Yes," Ineka replied, her face mixed with hope and anxiety. "The children are excited. They think we are going on a holiday." "We are," Kenichi said with a smile. "A permanent holiday. As soon as the money is in my account, I will transfer it to you. Then I will tell Ifeoma I have to travel immediately for the contract. I will meet you at the airport, and we will leave the country together. We will be in London by tomorrow." He ended the call feeling invisible. His plan was perfect. At the lawyer's office, Ifeoma arrived early as promised. Chijoke was waiting for her in a private room. He looked tired but determined. "Brother, what is so important that it couldn't wait?" Ifeoma asked. A little impatient. "Ifeoma, what I am about to show you will hurt you deeply," Chijoke began gently. "But you need to see it. You need to know the truth about the man you married." He placed his phone on the table. "Before you watch this, I need you to promise me you will be very strong. And I need you to answer one question. Where did Kenichi tell you he was going this morning?" Ifeoma was confused. "He had a final meeting about the government contract. Why?" Chijoke simply nodded and pressed play on the video. Ifeoma watched as the screen showed a familiar black SUV, precisely the one she bought for Kenichi, parked in front of a small house. Her breath was caught in her throat when she saw Kenichi get out. Then she saw the children running to him, calling him daddy. She saw him hug them. She saw him give the money to a woman. Saw them walked all into the house like a family. The video ended, and the room was completely silent. Ifeoma's words stopped. She could not breathe. She could not speak. The room seemed to spin all around her. All the small lies, the secret phone calls, the constant requests for money, it all crashed down on her at once. It was all true. He has another family, she whispered, her voice breaking. "Yes," Chijoke said softly. "His real family. His name is not even Kenichi. His real name is Chukwuma Nwankwo. He changed it when he came to Lagos. The business, the contract, it is all a lie to get your money." Just then, they heard a voice in the hallway. It was Kenichi laughing and chatting with the lawyer. He was early. Chijoke quickly hid his phone. "Be strong, sister," he whispered. "Let him show us who he really is." The door opened, and Kenichi walked in, all smiles. "My love," and Chijoke. His smile faded slightly when he saw his brother-in-law. "What are you doing here?" "I came to support my sister on this important day," Chijoke said calmly. Kelechi looked nervous, but he tried to act normal. He focused on Ifoma. Are you ready, my love? The lawyer has the papers. Once we sign, the money will be transferred to my account and our future begins. Ifoma looked at him. She saw the man she loved, but now she also saw the liar, cheat, the man who had a wife and children in Port Harcourt. Her heart was shattered, but her mind was clear. She decided to play along. She needed to hear him say it. Kenichi, she said, her voice surprisingly steady. This is a lot of money. It is almost everything I have. Before you sign, I need you to look me in the eye and promise me that this contract is real. Promise me you are not lying to me. Kenichi looked deep into her eyes, his face the picture of sincerity. Ifoma, I love you more than anything in this world. I would never lie to you. This contract is real. Everything I have done has been for us, for our future, I promise you. He took her hand. Do you trust me? That was when Ifoma knew it was over. He looked straight at her in the eye and lied without a single flicker of guilt. She pulled away her hand slowly. Her eyes, which had been full of love, were now cold and hard. I did trust you, Kenichi. Or should I even call you by your real name, Chukuma? Kenichi's face went completely white. He took a step back as if he had been slapped. His mouth opened, but no sound came out. The mask had finally fallen, and the terrified, greedy man underneath was exposed for everyone to see. For a long moment, there was only silence in the room. Kenichi, now exposed as Chukuma, just stood there, his mouth opening and closing like a fish out of water. The confident, charming man was gone, replaced by a trapped criminal who had been caught. Ifoma, I can explain, he finally stammered, his voice shaking. Explain what? Ifoma said, her voice cold and strong. She was no longer the heartbroken woman from a few minutes ago. She was the CEO again, facing a business partner who had betrayed her. Explain how you lied about your name, how you even have a whole wife and children you have never told me about, or even explain how you were going to steal my money and run away to London. Hearing the word London, Chukwuma's legs seemed to go weak. He stumbled back and fell into the chair. He knew the game was over. Chijoke, who had quietly been watching, simply nodded to the lawyer. The lawyer picked up his phone and made a quick call. Within minutes, 2 police officers walked into the room. Chukoma Owanko, one officer said, you are under arrest for fraud, identity theft, and attempted grand larceny. As they handcuffed him, Chukoma started crying. Please, Ifoma, I'm sorry. Nika made me do it. It was her idea. She was the one who planned everything. This new confession shocked everyone. The police immediately ordered Ifoma's arrest from Port Harcourt too. They found her packing her bags for London with plane tickets purchased using the money she had convinced Chukoma to take from Ifoma earlier. In the days that had followed, the full truth came out. Nneka hadn't been the innocent victim. She had been the mastermind behind the whole scheme. She had pushed Chukuma to target a wealthy woman, teaching him how to say, what to say it, and how to act. She was the one who planned their escape to London once they got all the big transfer from Ifoma. With both parents in prison, Ifoma faced a difficult decision about the children. She visited them in Port Harcourt where they were staying with a relative. Seeing the innocent children crying for their parents, her heart broke for them. I know your parents did bad things, she told them gently, but that doesn't mean you are bad children. Everyone deserves a chance to become good people. Ifoma set up a trust fund for the children's education and living expenses. She found them a good boarding school where they could get proper education and grow in a positive environment. She promised to check up their progress regularly, making sure they had what they needed to build their future and better lives than their parents had chosen. Back in Lagos, life slowly returned to normal for Ifoma. The pain was deep, but she had her brother and her friends by her side. She learned the hard lesson, but it made her wiser and stronger. A good name and a clean heart are more valuable than all the money in the world. Chukuma and Inika lost their freedom and reputation because of greed, while Ifoma kept her dignity and showed great kindness, even to the children of those who hurt her. Remember that no amount of stolen wealth is worth losing your freedom and breaking up your family. Thank you for watching this story. We hope you enjoyed it and learned something valuable. If you did, please kindly like, share, and subscribe for more inspiring stories. See you next time. Bye-bye.